2, 3, 4. It does not matter how many sides you have for the flower. It can be a hexagon, can be an octagon, up to you, everybody's preference. Okay, I want to paint in a way the color can cover the back. So now your first flower is formed. Let's create another small flower. I just put some red onto my palette knife and continue to create a small flower. The second flower is created. If you're not comfortable using the palette knife, you can always paint it with a flat brush. Just make sure you have a straight line for all the petals. Form the shape and put the color. The difference between painting with the brush and a palette knife, it's using the palette knife you can put a lot of color directly onto the canvas and you can create a thick layer. If you're using paintbrush to paint the flowers, you may need to paint 2 or 3 layers. Acrylic color is very thin, and if you need to increase the thickness of the color, you need to let the first layer dry and then paint the second layer or the third layer, and it will become like this. So therefore I have chosen to paint my flower using a palette knife. So now you can wash your palette knife, then you can do another color. Avoid using the green as the color of your flower because people will mix your green between the stems and the flowers. So we always keep the green color just for the stems. And the flowers, we can create different shades of yellow, orange, maroon by mixing the 3 primary colors together. So now I want to create a purple flower. So put the blue and the red on your palette knife, and then you can mix the color directly on your canvas, or you can always mix the color one side and then apply the color. See, the dark background and the dark color will not make your flower stand out. Doesn't matter. You can mix the color again to make it brighter. If you find that you couldn't see this flower, take the color and then do the flower on top of your bright flower. See? Now you're able to see some part of the dark color. I will let you continue to create more flowers, but I want to show you how to paint the stems. So let's mix our primary colors, yellow and the blue, to get the green. This time round, I'm going to show you how to paint the stem using the brush instead. You should let the color of the flowers to dry before you draw the stems. Now I'm just using the brush to create the stems. Okay. Put the brush a straight angle and overlap your red. Just do one stroke all the way down. If you're running out of color here, do one more round. And here you have the first stem. And keep creating more stems for some of your flowers. It does not need to be straight. Some of these flowers can be slanted. And some stems can be hiding at the back. So now we will continue to create more flowers so we can have more stems. So put the color on the back of a palette knife, and now we can even create flower in front of the stem. I create a long flower. And in order to fill in the blank, you should have different shades of green. By mixing the amount of blue and the yellow, you can get a different shades of green. If you want a lighter green, then add more yellow. If you want a darker green, then add more blue. For this flower, I have mixed a little bit of yellow to get like the green. So you can create more stems to fill in the space. By using the same color, or by using a different color. Let's say we want more flowers to be here. Let's create more flowers over here. So put the color at the back of your palette knife and create more flowers. So now you have created more flowers. And again, with the principle of creating contrast, I'm going to use a lighter color for the center of the dark flower and a darker color for the center of our bright flowers. So for the yellow, I'm going to use the red to do the center. Not all the flowers need to have a center. Some of the centers, it's hidden by the flowers in front. So not necessarily like this long flower, you don't really have to create a center.